ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I'm Nick McDaniel. He's Myron Fancher. How the heck are you, man?
I've been eating a healthy dose of crow, and I want to apologize publicly for doubting you and your ability as a professional wrestler. Nick?
Hold on. I'm going to correct you just like I corrected Heath on the Tapped In show this week. Not a wrestler. I said that I was clear about that. I am not a wrestler.
You're a sports entertainer?
There you go. I'll embrace that one. I'm
Okay.
I'm in entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick put on a good entertainment the other night, and the very, very entertaining entertainment thing he entertained us with, and everybody was happy. Hopefully people will show up at their next show in that town. It didn't kill the whole town, but I couldn't complain. I was wrong. He should have done it. It worked out just fine. And I'm
Listen, brother, I'm glad you
it worked.
as much as you were comfortable with, I'm glad everybody that was involved, and look, hey, by the way, did you know tappedoutpod.com, patreon.com/tappedoutpod. Look, we always tell you the reasons why you want to subscribe. You want to, like the page, turn the notifications on, become a member. That's the big one, Myron. The reason why that's such a big one this time, as of right now, to my knowledge, the only place that full footage of that match is, it's there. It's behind the paywall there, over on our Patreon and on our YouTube, for members. At a certain level, of course, or whatever. And by the way, I did it on the other show, but kudos, and I want to thank Brandon Benefield again. He recorded another angle and gave me that footage before I left, and I've put that up there as well. So there's two different camera. The Brandon's footage is just the end. It's literally just the ending of the match. But I appreciate everything.
I was really, really touched by your grandkids. Like they were so happy to see your grandpa and so touched, and your sister-in-law was an absolute joy to sit by. She was so excited about the whole thing. Her and her date just were popping the whole time. So I could not have had a better time. I did enjoy my nachos. Mr. Jameson was trying to get me into the ring, but I decided to stay and have nachos. Very good job, though. Did they get you one of those giant belts with all the diamonds on it?
No, they did not.
Now, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Is that only going to be defended in Saudi?
I don't think they've really clarified, but I got a vibe it's just going to be like kind of like a King of the Ring, where they basically have the event. Think about it. Didn't Braun Strowman win like a world's greatest Royal Rumble title? He's never defended it.
Yeah.
So he's been champion for 2,500 something days or whatever.
Well, that pay-per-view is coming up pretty soon, but man, how about Badd Blood, Nick? Did you like that one?
Dude, listen, I know this is going to sound like crazy. This pay-per-view had no business being as good as it was. Like, I know with the matches and it's like this quote unquote is a second tier PLE, right? Like, no,
maybe third.
Maybe. Yeah, this is one of those back when they were doing Badd Blood and Vengeance and, stuff like that. Like, it's not even like,
what the biggest house, one of the biggest houses or attendances ever, or what was the quote? Biggest gate at a stadium show, arena show. Yeah, ever.
Not shocking. We saw the prices, so that's not really shocking.
And they sold out. And it's our hometown, Athens, and we're not Athens, Atlanta, and we're sitting here looking at the ticket prices because it's just down the road, and it's no. I mean, it was a great weekend of independent wrestling shows, but I decided to just watch this one at home because, I mean, seriously, those prices were insane.
Yeah, and look, and
they got them.
Yeah, we're going to go into a couple things, I'm sure, because we're just going to ramble here. And by the way, you guys are probably going to notice a structure change over the next few weeks and whatever with the podcast. And I'll dive into it later. We're not going to do it now because I want to keep this conversation going. But 5 matches, short and to the point, serving a lot of different, entities in that they gave you. Look, you get it. I was talking with somebody and I said, listen, it's on your Peacock membership. So it's $6.99, $9.98 for whatever level you are. I mean, I pay I think it's like $4.99 or something like that for my Peacock. Like if I only get 5 matches on the PLE, can I really be disappointed? Like, man, I only got 5 matches, but I got 5 good story matches.
Well, they take 5 matches. They take the whole damn 2.5 hour show.
But it
what
ain't
else
4.
Could you ask for?
That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing. It ain't 4.
I can't do a 4-hour show.
If you're complaining about 5 matches, here's my answer to that. When there were 8, how many times did we watch those and we didn't think 3 or 4 of them mattered?
And they're also this long. And they're also having to have storylines that pay off every month. Click. This storyline pays off.
So
now
here's
they can set the storylines staggered. So
and you know what else? I think there's another thing. I don't even know if you've thought about this. They get to make their TV partners happy because think about it. We got last week on Jey Uso wins the Intercontinental title on Raw because there's only 5 matches on there. Yeah. This week we get Sammy and Gunther for the world title on Raw. SmackDown, we're going to get more title shots because then, hey, there's just not enough room on the PLEs, right? For when you got 5 matches. And I think sometimes by the way, folks, here's tangent number 1 for the show. If you don't think story mattered more in these matches than some would argue the titles.
They were set up perfectly, and these were long stories. Yeah. These weren't just something they came up with last week. Jesus. And they started with a Hell in a Cell match? The match that was going to make a mess? The match that had a big metal object?
I'm hearing people say this could quite arguably be one of the greatest cage matches they've ever seen. And I will say, first, your answer. By the way, did you know it, take for what it is, cage match, the rating where fans go in there and they rate the matches? Look, it's a high staple point for some promotions. I think it's the 2nd rated Hell in a Cell of all time.
Mankind being thrown off the cell, the top one.
I don't even know, but I know it was the 2nd one.
That's reasonable. That's very reasonable. The toolbox, that table leg spot, both guys busted open.
When that PLE kicked on, you know what I was at? You know how much I was in at one point?
How's that?
When that shot came up and they looked up and I saw a real cage and not that red monster that we've had to look at for Hell in a Cell forever, I was like, okay, we're back. Triple H loves a good old-fashioned looking cage.
Yeah.
And then they did a cage match. Yeah, that we got the blood, we got the spots. I feel like we actually got a cage match for a change.
Triple H, the greatest peacemaker of our time, making peace with Goldberg, making peace with Bret Hart. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, saving NXT, bringing in CM Punk for NXT, bringing in Jey Uso, bringing in Randy Orton to NXT. These were people that weren't very cooperative in the past for a lot of things. Remember when DX was big troublemakers? And now they're the backbones of the pillars of the community? How crazy is what wrestling has developed into?
But he did a spectacular job. Look, the Drew and Punk thing, I think, was tremendously done. The overall, look, there's a lot of other things that happen on the card. I will tell you a lesson that I learned personally. The only one of the matches that I really want to kind of add, there's two matches obviously to talk about after that one. One is everybody's talking about how they botched the ending of the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley match. Here was now, had Raquel not put her on her, and it came out like, hey, they botched the ending. I just sit there and go like, why did we have to know that? If you hadn't been told that, you would have just thought that was the ending. Again, that was something I learned this past weekend. Everybody's like, well, what if you mess it up? They're like, they won't know.
Yeah.
Literally being told that is, people trying to teach this guy. They're like, if that happens, dude, just don't worry about it. They don't know that this was supposed to happen. They don't know what wasn't supposed to happen and what was supposed to happen.
You'd have to tell them a lot of times. You'd have to tell the people. And why did they tell? Who told? Was it who revealed this?
If some journalist wrote a story saying it was a botched ending, and so basically Raquel, Mr. Q, went out early, so the referee saw her, had to DQ her, but it was supposed to be she was gonna do something, and then the referee wouldn't see her, and then she would put Liv on her, and Liv would beat her or whatever. I'm like,
Rhea
who cares?
Teeing off on Dom like he was a pinata.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Everything was working so good. How did Liv Morgan go from being this little cutie pie to being a legitimate women's champion? Being so good.
I don't know, man, but she's come a long way. That's quickly.
God, and is Bayley the best women's wrestler WWE's ever had, Nick?
No.
Charlotte?
Yeah. But guess what? There's a Rhea Ripley nipping at her heels really quick.
Yeah.
Charlotte better get healed up or do whatever and get back.
I just think Bayley's body of work, though, she's been there so long and she's done whatever they've asked her to for so long.
Yeah, but that still doesn't. Bold prediction. I think Rhea Ripley does become
the greatest,
the best women's wrestler that they've ever had. She's still super young, and I don't think she has. Moving forward, here's the obstacle. I think, boy, we sidebarred on this one. I think most of your female talents are going to be athletes who became wrestlers that don't dream about being the greatest women's wrestler of all time. They have aspirations of modeling or acting or whatever else.
Jordan.
Just anything.
Tiffy. We're talking about Tiffy time.
She's hired an agent. Yeah. Well, she's hired an agency to be like, she wants to get into acting and stuff. Okay, well, if that's what she wants to do, that's fine. But I got the vibe from Rhea Ripley. She wants to be the best wrestler in the world. Yeah. And I think she's got plenty of time to just plant herself as that person. So yeah, 1,000% my take. Clearly we have to go somewhere with this story and we'll figure it out.
The Rock can't get The Rock out of WWE. He's popping up. He was in Atlanta for the show. He went out to Appalachia where the big school incident was.
Yeah.
And was there with the team. And showed up. I don't know what's the significance of that. I don't know what they're going to do with him, Nick.
Look, clearly I think there was that leaked footage of Solo leaning over and saying to Jacob Fatu in the stands, literally with the fan cam got it, and he said it's all part of the plan. So clearly that was a giveaway, I guess, or whatever. But how about this? In my personal opinion, just sheer emotion, I get it. From a wrestling fandom standpoint, I understand everybody being jacked about The Rock being back. The Jimmy Uso return was so well done.
Yeah.
And from the standing there, pulling off to the hoodie, and then getting into the ring, and then like literally them taking the time to set up the hug between Roman and Jimmy. Super well done. I actually enjoyed that moment bigger than the return of The Rock, and that's crazy.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that. The Rock return was just, to me, just a surprise. But you said fan cam, people catching stuff. How about the cam footage they leaked onto social media with KO just beating down Cody? Multimedia.
here's the thing: you got to use social media, and clearly, like fan cam footage got posted and it went viral. But because we had this conversation with somebody, and I said it's overkill if Kevin attacks Cody like in the ring or going to the back. Like, dude, we just saw Jimmy return, and The Rock comes out.
And
blah,
it can
blah.
look set up sometimes.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
If you had to end with The Rock because the mass audience, that was the exclamation point on the PLE. You couldn't then go, oh, and Kevin Owens attacked Cody. I'm like, so I like this leaked, fan cam footage or whatever. It went viral. He attacked him or whatever.
Probably got millions and millions and millions of views.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. They're using social, man. I'll give them that. They're using social like crazy.
Well, we just had this conversation earlier about how independent wrestling companies use social. And the ones that are good at it tend to sell a lot of seats. The ones that are good at it have their posts set to share. I'm scrolling through social media. I see an independent wrestling company or somebody promoting, and I go to share their post. It's not set to share.
Yeah.
I think we work out of our way to promote wrestling in Georgia and around the country. And when they don't have that set to share, you can't help them. Look at what WWE is doing, people. Look how they promote themselves on social media. Look how they work things in. It's smart. Some of that can apply to other forms of wrestling, independent wrestling, whatever you've got, and use that kind of stuff. Look at it. I don't know. But did you even notice Raw was 2 hours?
Well, like I was thinking like the evolving of using social media and whatever, and I was like, well, the evolvement of Raw this week, it's the first 2 hour Raw. I will say this. I think there was probably some growing pains, and they're going to experience that for a little while because, I know the argument was, well, they were already doing a 2 hour show on Smackdown or whatever, but the roster's still kind of bulky and built for 3 hours. That's part of the issue. Trying to get I think the hardest part's going to be over the next, couple months. I think some talents we're going to see more people grumble that they're not happy because they're not going to get as much TV time. I would tell them, pump the brakes, relax. Because Triple H, by the way, was asked, I don't know if you know this, he was asked at the presser about, is Netflix going to be 2 hours or 3 hours? And he kind of just implied, like, I don't know, we're still working through that. So they don't know. Like they haven't decided.
I have a feeling you'll get whatever they need.
Oh, we've said that, yeah, 100%.
You'll get if they need 2 hours, you'll get 2 hours. If they need 2:45, you'll get 2:45. You're commercial free, so that's going to change your experience watching it. I mean, you get 2:15 of solid wrestling, 2:30 at the most.
The other thing is you don't have to worry about overrunning into the show behind you. If a match goes long, this is where I think wrestlers are going to almost get a house show vibe. Now, look, I know they're still going to probably say sweet spot's probably between 2 and 3 hours, 2 hours, 15, 3, whatever. They'll have a range. But here's the thing. If, wrestler X goes out there and tries to get all of his shit in and the match goes over 5 minutes, when they're on USA, they got to cut that 5 minutes. And it's whether it's somebody's match or whether it's a promo set or something, it's got to be cut. On Netflix, you don't have to. You just go, hey, don't do it again. Now go out there and, or does it just become a little bit more relaxed? You got between 6 and 8. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
I'm just thinking of that Matt Cardona quote when you said that. This week, Matt Cardona said basically that most indie shows are just too long, and the "get your shit in" quote. And I don't want it to be like that. I don't want people getting their shit in all the time because I think that ruins wrestling for me. When you take a 6-minute match and you make it 15. I don't want that. I want to see them get their matches in tight. I want to see things work out like that. To me, that's one of the weaknesses of AEW when they have to go and have hour-long matches and stuff. I lose interest. We talked about this earlier. It's so hard for me to focus these days with all the medicines I have to take for different things. And I don't want those kind of matches. And people do, though, because AEW signed that massive TV deal. And I know
Yeah.
you and Heath went over the deal in detail, but when we look at it, it's their number one, Warner Brothers' number one program on Wednesday night. Their number one program. And it's in
Look,
the
it's one
top
of their
5
top
on
ones,
Saturday
period.
night.
Yeah. It's one of their top shows, period. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And look, we did patreon.com/tappedoutpod, tappedoutpod.com on YouTube members. We did it was like a 45-minute dive into it. So go check it out. I mean, look, there's some stuff that have come out since then that's changed a little bit. You know, but I think at the ultimate part of that deal is, hands down, it's a great deal no matter what.
Oh, it's a phenomenal deal when you think about it.
Yeah.
$185 million a year, cash or trade. I don't know. Maybe Billy Bell's got something involved where he gives them some livestock. I don't know the whole details, but if it's your most important program on your networks, go for it. But that Saturday show has to move. And where's your
I don't think it's going to, though. That's the problem. I just don't know that it's going to.
Dude, it got shit canned against Badd Blood. It's running against all these different sports, and they drew less than 2,000 people. Put it somewhere safe, somewhere that doesn't have televised wrestling anymore.
Well, it was pre-taped. That's part of it. It was pre-taped on Thursday, so that was part of it. But I think, though, I attribute it not just to the PLEs. I think college football season, you just kind of know what you're going to get. You can't. We had this conversation, was it a week or so ago, about what night would you move it to, and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of, I just don't know that you do, because here's the other problem. You're talking about moving it, but if they get this other rumored third show on a Fox channel of any kind, then you got to find a home for it. So
I think that time slot thing is going to become less and less important.
Listen, when they go to in January, here's the thing: people when they go to streaming in January, it's going to be live streamed and it'll be on the library there. You want a hot take? Numbers are going to be worse. If I can watch it on Max, why would I keep watching it on TBS?
Why would
because
you
I can watch it
at all?
Look, that was a conversation we had off the air, 100%.
Like, if I got a VPN, I can watch the Netflix content that they ship overseas for Raw and SmackDown, NXT. I can watch it all on Netflix and the pay-per-views, and only have a Netflix membership. Because that way, all you do is with a VPN is you can disguise where you're at as part of your safety and security thing. So you can say, I'm in Europe, basically. Let me watch the European Netflix feed. So you've got your Max and your Netflix. You don't need cable television for wrestling anymore.
Pretty much.
You've got your NWA. Where is that? I'm not quite sure.
YouTube. Oh, no, X. I'm sorry. They put it on X.
Oh, that's right. It's live on Twitter. MLW. You got all these shows that you got on the internet. Why is TV going away as an option for wrestling?
Don't get super comfortable. I would tell everybody, commercials are coming, especially on wrestling and sports that are on apps, on streaming services, because they can. You're used to it. So that's going to happen. This is going to
be the opening the door. We're going to start getting live sports on streaming services with commercials.
Dude, think about it. Every Thursday when I watch the Prime Video NFL game, commercials. Don't even blink that I'm like, oh, this is on the streaming thing and I'm watching commercials.
Now, are they Amazon heavy commercials? Or are they commercials for other stuff?
A little bit of everything. They're just selling commercials, dude.
Well, you got to pay for that NFL deal somehow. You got to pay for that
100%.
AEW deal somehow.
Yeah. So, anyway. Look, here's the structure, a little bit of a change, man. Look, we're going to shorten up how much we talk about because we got a whole lot of. Oh, my
God. What a weekend for independent wrestling in Georgia.
That's right, man.
Us up, Nick.
That's right, man. we are firing up the engines, and we are heading over to Making the Drives, brought to you by JMartinandCompany.com. That is right, JMartinandCompany.com. All your pressure washing, window cleaning, I mean, you name it, all that good stuff right there at JMartinandCompany.com. Only people we trust with all of our, whether it's our driveways, our homes, whether it's our windows, gutters, all the above, JMartinandCompany.com.
You ever done your own pressure washing, Nick?
Yep.
I am not good at it. I miss spots. I leave stuff everywhere. Jamie just coming in is so much easier and no mess. He's the man when it comes to getting this stuff clean. And he's done so much good for us. But let's get in the car. Where is the shows on Thursday?
Well, Thursday is a big day, man. We got Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling right up the street in Athens, Georgia from us. Bell time is at 7 p.m. It's at Cali and Tito's. So, man, listen, if you like, I hear the food is amazing.
Yes, I've got another good review about that from a non-wrestling source. Said the food was amazing. It was their favorite Mexican restaurant. And this is a very stacked TCW card. They're doing so many good things with TCW. Pretty much got a show 3 or 4 a week, every week, everywhere.
Look, this weekend alone, they're running 3 shows. So and it's spread out, which is awesome. So you can catch Turnbuckle if you're anywhere and everywhere, especially around the Metro Atlanta area. Up there at Athens, like I said, at Cali and Tito's. Look, their cards, what I love, super entertaining, super fun. Yeah. I get it. We're probably a little biased and partial. We show favoritism. I understand. But it's, Vari, QT, Brady Booker, Trevor Blackwell, Warden, Michael Soul. I mean, it's guys that we've seen, and they're just fun. It's just a great, fun show. And in that environment, like, look, that's one of mine I'm contemplating this week. I actually asked Rachel, I was like, hey, you want to go up to Athens for dinner? And
I was going up there until I had that problem. I couldn't drive because my daughter's in school up there. I would love to go up and see her, eat at this restaurant, see my friends. And as far as favoritism, Nick, my take on favoritism is when you send me match footage and I watch it and you message me on Facebook and we talk. And when I show up at a show and you run up to me and shake my hand and say, it's good to see you, Myron. How you doing? Thanks for coming. When you send me messages and you tag me and stuff you want me to share, that's favoritism. Okay? When favoritism is when you treat me good, I'll probably talk about it.
Just participate. That's all I'm asking. Help me help you. That's what I always say. Help me help you. But
this is a free service provided to you by Tap Out Wrestling Podcast.
Well, the other show on Thursday, Phoenix Wrestling Experience down at Savannah River Brewing Company in Augusta, Georgia. Their show's bell time is 6:30, so keep an eye. It's a little bit of a different time. Huge thing. Look, we all love some Cody Fluffman.
Yes.
We absolutely are massive fans of Cody Fluffman. He's got an opportunity against Aaron Berry for that Savannah River Brewing Company championship. And I know a lot of people may not think it, but I think Cody Fluffman would be a heck of a face of the company.
Well, I'm kind of scared about what's going on in Cody Fluffman's career on Friday, but I really hope he does well there in Augusta. Augusta is a major talent center for wrestling in Georgia. Yeah. They draw some of the biggest names.
And look, we hope everything's kind of recovered and they're, at a good place to run. Yeah. So maybe it'll be a great opportunity to give some people like just a couple hours, kind of out of reality, just to kind of get a break.
If y'all are running a benefit show somewhere for the hurricane victims, first or second hurricane victims anywhere, please let us know so we can talk about it and promote it. Also, our thoughts are with the victims of the 2 hurricanes, but please let us know if there's anything we can do to help to promote your shows because it's been a really tough time. Tough time. I had some of the guys that we know that were affected directly by it. But Friday.
Well, hold on. Shug D's making his debut at Phoenix. Big, huge. It's a big thing. Look, Shug D highly ranked up on any list in wrestling that you see.
Highly respected.
Should be fun. Florida Man and Dre the Goat versus Drew Adler and Paul Lasher. Kind of a stacked up little card there. And I know, look, you never know. Sean Legacy's always hanging around when it comes to Phoenix wrestling. So absolutely check those guys out again. Savannah River Brewing Company, Augusta, Georgia. Friday, Myron.
Yes.
Now, this is where we unveil it, right? Because we always talk about it. Every single week, our goal is we're going to try to highlight and focus on one show. Whether, look, it could be a multitude of reasons. It could be we think it's the absolute biggest show, best show, whatever you want to call it. Or it could be, hey, this is where we're going to be. Multitude of reasons. This week, we crowned the show of the week to none other than our friends from Southern Honor Wrestling. Show of the week, still here 6. Can you believe that, man? 6 years. Kudos to that team, man. They got a heck of a run under them.
Man, I love to see promotions thriving. I love to see promotions being able to have long runs. And this is a massive benchmark for a independent wrestling promotion. Congratulations. I'd be honored to get here. But let's break it down. This is a big show. Let's talk about it.
So I'm going to throw you off. We're going to do it in reverse order of the notes because with the show of the week, if we have the full card, which we highly encourage to try to get it to us, luckily we had the full card for this one. If I missed one, shame on me, but I don't think I did.
Are you Lee Corso and I'm Fat McAfee?
I'll be Pat because I like Pat. Okay.
But I'm not wearing any.
Actually, you are closer to Corso.
Do I have to wear a what? I'm going to wear a giant Cody Fluffman head on the show.
There you go. So let's start off, man. Sauronaro, Paul Walterhauser. How about this, dude? Stingray from Cobra Kai returning again back to Southern Honor Wrestling versus Sal. Sal's had a pretty bad run here lately, taking a lot of L's up at Southern Honor Wrestling. And look, Mr. Walterhauser, I love you in Cobra Kai, but you got to take an L right here.
Sal is probably one of my favorite all-time wrestlers. I would trust him in the ring with anybody, especially if you were bringing in a Hollywood star to wrestle and you wanted him to be okay. This Sal would be the guy. I think this is going to be an entertaining match, really entertaining match. So I'm looking forward to it. Oddly enough, I wouldn't think I would look forward to this, but last time they had Paul Walterhauser in there, sold a ton of autographs. So if you ever wanted to meet Paul Walterhauser, this would be the time to do it, folks.
Listen,
but there's so many stars.
I was going to say, you're talking about autographs. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be there. Kimberly Page is going to be there. Glacier's going to be there. On and on and on. So you can get tons of autographs.
I cannot wait to see Glacier. Just absolutely one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yep. But here's the other one, man. Let's dive back into the card. Nick Halen versus CT Keys for a number 1 contendership for the Jake the Snake Legacy title. I'll let you go first on this one. Who you got?
I hate to make a pick on this.
You got to, though. We make picks. That's what we do here.
I hate to make picks, but I got to pick CT. You're going to pick your favorite wrestler in the whole world, Nick Halen. I know. But I got to pick CT. You're not going to pick Nick Halen.
I'm picking CT Keys. It's not because I still absolutely love Nick Halen. Think he's a phenomenal wrestler. That is not it in the least. I'm picking CT Keys because he has had some heck of some momentum lately. He's currently is your Southern Fried champion. He went down to Coastal. He captured the title. He lost it due to that whole Jake's ministry and those crazy people down there. But he is like literally he's on a roll at Wrestlemerica. I mean, you name it, wherever he's going, he's getting hot right now. And unfortunately for Nick Halen, I think it's CT Keys' time. So that's why I'm picking CT Keys. Big Ben Bishop, look, he's been moving and shaking all over the country, doing some major things. Had earned an opportunity to face Cruel for the IWTV title. Do you want me to go first on this one, or you want to go first?
I know my finish, but you go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. If you got
this is going to be a disqualification. This is not going to be a clean finish. They're not going to drop the IWTV title to Bishop because Cruel is just money guy. It's great that Ben Bishop is getting a shot, but this is wrestling. I don't think the top belt will change hands, but I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. That's just me.
I 1,000% think Cruel picks up the W here. I love Ben Bishop, by the way. Everybody knows I'm a huge Ben Bishop fan.
Yeah.
The problem is he's still becoming who I think he's going to be. That's the difference. Cruel is the monster he was born to be.
Yeah.
Cruel will pick up the win here. That's my pick. Ben Bishop will have a day where he's going to have multiple titles around his waist. Today ain't that day. Today is Cruel. Sorry. Gary Lamb and Zach Mosley. Oh, my Lord. I was slightly involved into this with the Exotic Truth podcast. They did the debate kind of went all over the place. It got a little heated. And listen, we both have shirts, so I don't think we even remotely.
I'm going to be breaking out my Gary. I saw the picture of Gary Lamb's shirt. Okay, I got a picture of Gary Lamb on a shirt. I am rooting for Gary Lamb. Especially in Canton. Okay, there ain't no way Gary Lamb's going to lose in Canton. I'm sorry. This is like going into hell and fighting the devil. You're not even playing fiddle. This is amazing. This is the hardest place on earth to get a victory.
Zach Mosley and I did not mesh very well on the Exotic Truth podcast. He got angry about my choice of shirts, hat. But
yeah, you're playing.
I love Gary Lamb. But Gary Lamb is not a wrestler. Zach Mosley is a very good wrestler.
Oh, you think it's going to be a wrestling match?
Zach Mosley is going to beat Gary Lamb.
Oh, he'll probably beat him if it was wrestling. But this is not going to be a wrestling match. This is going to be gimmick.
Gary Lamb made one fatal mistake that I did not make. I did not climb in there one-on-one. Gary's climbing in there one-on-one. And by the way, they said they would stay away. Will they's the question.
Doesn't matter. It's Canton. Everybody in there fights for Gary. You're going into
But they're not in the ring with Gary.
They don't have to be. There's going to be somebody interfering for Gary. Gary's going to have a secret hidden weapon.
He better. That's all I'm going to say is he better. Because Gary Lamb, as much as I love the man, Zach Mosley is going to. I don't trust him.
I hate to say it. Zach Mosley and these guys will come and go, but Gary Lamb's eternal. Gary Lamb has helped me more than anyone else.
Oh, listen, now you're talking a different story. We're talking about literally picking. You're picking with your heart, not with your head, and that's fine. I'm going. That's just my pick.
It's been the wind beneath my wings for so long.
Yeah. Look, then we're going to head into a triple threat match for the Southern Honor Tag Team titles. The Infantry, they won that shot. Well, Carly Bravo specifically won that opportunity by winning the Rumble Jack. The Grapplers, the Hierarchy, all of that conglomeration of a mess. Who you got?
I'm the world's biggest Grapplers fan. They're my favorite tag team in Georgia, Southeast. I can't really bet against the Grapplers, though. If I were to be wagering money, I would pick the Grapplers. Hierarchy is great, but is Joe in this match and Joe versus Judas?
No.
Well, who's his alternate? Kenway?
Kenway.
That changes things. Kenway's great, but Joe's really violent. Really, really.
We love the Grapplers. And we love the Hierarchy. Joe being out of this match will be a bit of experience lost. Not knocking Kenway. Kenway's a
phenomenal talent. Probably one of the best people in Georgia to watch.
Yeah. However, folks, the Infantry, Listen, I was like an old school Carly Bravo guy. He rolled out there and picked up a partner in Sean Dean. And those two, by the way, have gone on to do things all the way onto your TV screen.
Television. That's the program I want to see. If AEW gets another TV show, I want it to be Ring of Honor. I want to see more Carly Bravo on my television set.
Listen.
Maybe he gets his own program.
The Infantry's becoming your Southern Honor Tag Team Champions. That's some money. I don't have. Listen, no disrespect because I love both of the other teams. If I'm sitting across a poker table and I got all my chips are sliding onto Carly Bravo and Sean.
There is one behind the scenes office thing that could stop that. If their TV recording schedule could possibly conflict with the Southern Honor booking schedule, but they're a Friday night show.
That's correct. Huge difference at whose advantage. Look, we talked about Cody Fluffman earlier down at Phoenix. Cody Fluffman's going to have a gauntlet match with Grayson Pierce, Warden, and Lev. If Fluff loses, he has to join Faithful. If he wins, Lev can no longer be Faithful. I hate to tell you, brother, this is easy. Cody Fluffman's going to have a heck of a weekend. Cody Fluffman is going to become your Phoenix Wrestling Experience, the Savannah River Brewing Company champion, and he's going to roll up into on Friday night, and he's going to knock all three of those guys off. And poor old Lev is no longer going to be Faithful. By the way, I'm not knocking any of the three things. Cody Fluffman's just on a roll. Call him butter. He's literally on a roll.
Ah, God, that's the worst one ever.
Hey,
but this is basically a gimmick versus gimmick match. You know, both guys could lose their gimmick, and these are very marketable gimmicks when you think about it. Fluff gets all over the place. Lev works all over the place. Do they swap their gimmicks here and then work them other places? That's going to be the.
I don't know. I think he's no longer Faithful. And by the way, let's not sleep on the other two gentlemen in this match. You know, we mentioned Fluff. I told you I saw Grayson Pierce against Rico Gonzalez over at Disruptor. Phenomenal match. I was like, hey, people are completely probably just overlooking Grayson Pierce, and that
because he's been doing his drives with Lev and Warden being part of the Faithful, and all of a sudden he's now starting to shine. Great kid, getting his time in, working with great guys. Love Warden, one of the best guys developing in Georgia right now. You know, I'm a huge Lev fan. Huge Lev fan. I can't wait to see what happens here. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go with numbers and go with Lev.
Hey, look, you got the big Warden right there with you, putting the hammer to him. I mean, look, so yeah, I could understand where you're coming from. I just think Fluffy's on a roll, man. That's it. Team Action, Team Southern Honor. Look, we've got announced Owen Knight, Ashton Starr, and the old mystery partner as of recording against Kevin Ryan, Adam Priest, and Jaden Newman representing Action.
Matt Griffin gets.
There's your problem. There's your problem. Matt Griffin can't keep his hands, and you know he's got to get involved. He's got to meddle around and try to get involved. So I 1,000% believe it or not, I can see Team Action picking up a W here. Am I going heel here? Because I'm picking totally I feel like anti Southern Honor here at this point.
You've been doing a pretty mean run here, so I don't know what you got going on, but it's great to see Ashton Starr back. Always love seeing Owen back. Kevin Ryan, the first champion.
Yeah, I just think ask you this. I think the toughest part of the equation is not knowing who the other partner is for the team. So if I knew who it was,
there's so many people they could pull. Action has so much talent going through there. It could be One called Manders.
Well, no, this is Southern
It could be
Honor's
the
missing the team.
Oh shit! What am I missing? Oh my God! I am
Yeah,
so
so
sorry.
action's
Oh,
loaded.
it
We
could be
need
him
it.
if it's Southern Honor.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah, yeah.
Christ! Oh my God! It could be.
Yeah. So who
Sunny
you got?
Day. It could be. Ooh. It has to be. It has to be action because they're going to continue this storyline. Because this is too good a storyline.
What storyline? They're fighting here, dude. What storyline? What are you talking about?
Okay. This is too good to stop. No payoffs.
I just don't think Matt Griffin will let it in. There we go. Let's go with that. Of course, your main Joe Black versus Judas in a cage, title versus career. If Joe Black loses and does not become your Southern Honor champion, he has to retire. Now, hit a pause and just listen to this thought. This is something if you have not seen the promo that Southern Honor released with Joe Black, I will say this. When Joe Black speaks, I don't know that anybody does it like him. His promos, especially when it's like video packaged out, the way it was done was outstanding. I literally said, if that doesn't sell the tickets, I don't know what's wrong with you, because that was great. Whoever put all that together, and all the credit in the world for Joe Black to deliver that promo.
Yeah, Joe's
that's what he does.
That stuff. He's very, very good, both in the ring and outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And he can convey emotion very, very well. So I can get that. I can get why this will work. Judas is always the monster of monsters. Title versus career. Title versus career.
Who'd you pick?
I gotta pick Joe because I can't see Joe retiring. I wouldn't want Joe to retire. You know, Judas is doing so good outside of Southern Honor. It'd just be easier for him to lose the title than see Joe retire.
Judas, I believe, is the longest reigning Southern Honor champion at this point.
And he puts butts in seats.
Super talented guy. He goes down at still here. The end game essentially almost has an exclamation point on the ending of that at this point. Joe Black is your new Southern Honor champion. That's my pick.
It's reasonable.
Yeah. So again, that's our show. Look, go on up there to the Action Building, Canton, Georgia. They do 8 o'clock starts because of the Friday. The traffic, it's an absolute mess. Check them out. Again, Action Building, Canton, Georgia. Southern Honor Wrestling, still here 6th. Their big anniversary show. There's always surprises and celebrities out the wazoo there to get your autographs with as well.
I'm so excited about this show. This is one of my top 5 shows of the year. Shindig, Crossroads, Hardcore Hell, Rumble Jack, and Still Here are not in any particular order. Those 5 shows to me are Georgia's biggest shows, and I don't mind. I'm so excited about it.
And look, we'll be there Friday. But look, if you can't make it over to, if your Canton's just so far of a haul, I will tell you, SCA.
Look at this card.
Royston Dome, Royston, Georgia. Bell time 7 p.m. Look, there's lots of stuff on here.
You've had to explain this to me twice because it's so cool.
Yeah.
This is the coolest match idea. I would like to talk to whoever came up with this.
Yeah, it's fighter web, man. It's the rules are, I would love to tell you they're simple, but they're not quite simple, but they are. It's how I have to put this. You start with 2 men. They all randomly drew numbers, all the wrestlers in the back. They come out the first 2 minutes. Now, pinfalls and submissions can count at any time. Any point, somebody can be eliminated from this match. Somebody comes out, it becomes a triple threat. If nobody's pinned, 2 minutes later, the 4th person comes out. What I mean by it becomes a 4-way, etc., is wrestler 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are in the ring. If wrestler 1 pins wrestler 2, 2, 3, and 4 are eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
5 will come out and they start, and it keeps going. Super intriguing concept, always evolving. It's a fluid match. Had we not committed to, I literally told people that were involved with SCA, had I not already committed to be at Still Here 6, honestly, this is probably the show we would have been at on a Friday.
Yeah, I got footage of their match last week with Rick Page in a cage, and I enjoyed that very, very much. The Seabolt Tower match with Page in the cage, lots of fun, folks. You need to check that out. I posted it. They're doing so many great things up there. The Boulevard with Christian Taylor match is going to be a good match to see. De Silva's wrestling. I'm going to tell you, folks, De Silva is somebody in Georgia you have to get to see. I think he would be an absolute standout on a TCW card. He's a guy that could pretty much be a standout star on just about any card in Georgia. Like a young Kurt Angle, if I'm going to be putting somebody over.
And here's the thing. That match matters. He's wrestling Jaden Vane, winner of Luke De Silva versus Jaden Vane. They're the last one to enter the gauntlet match, the fighter way. So that match has a lot at stake. The unrated, and I always butcher the Cirque de Douleur. They're going to be wrestling. It's not my strength. Tornado tag match for the titles. Chop Top versus Kyle Phillips for the Friday night title. Stevie Ray Frost and more. So absolutely. So look, check out Squared Circle action up there in the Royston Dome every Friday, by the way. And give them a follow. Give them a follow on their YouTube channel because that stuff's coming out quick too. Last but not least, on Friday, Turnbuckle has their second show of the week down at the Moose Lodge in McDonough, Georgia. Bell time 7 p.m. Of course, it's Brady Booker, Vari Morales, Parker Lee, Luke's going to be there. Jonathan Gresham, that's a huge one, right? And then, by the way, today as we're recording, they break out Billy Gunn's going to be there.
You got to see Billy Gunn. Jesus, he's huge.
Yeah, if you're south of Atlanta, man, you gotta check him out.
And Jonathan Gresham, I really would like to see Jonathan Gresham in person. So much respect for him. More than just being Jordan Grace's husband. That dude is phenomenal. And I didn't even know they had mooses in McDonough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the Moose Lodge. There's a little house for him, little barn, I'm guessing.
Okay.
On Saturday, Wrestlemerica at Monroe County Rec Center there in Forsyth.
Good one.
Bell time 7:30 at there. Wrestlemerica is a fun show, by the way. If you have not been, but look, this one's going to be chaotic.
Packed.
Lot of stuff going on. Wrestlemerica title, Dominic Stuckey versus Fry Daddy. This thing's been going on for quite a while. He's going to get a shot, hopefully one-on-one. If they could keep the outside interference stuff going, that would be great. Hopefully it will, because Hunter James is wrestling CT Keys, and that's usually the person getting involved in their mess. That's one. We have seen that match recently.
Quality work.
Yeah, amazing, both of them. Look, KJ Impala versus Parker Lee for the Liberty title. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Your friend KJ Impala.
Hey, look, we're a little biased for KJ Impala. He was a tag team partner, at the Turnbuckle show last Friday. Parker Lee, by the way, was on that card as well. He wrestled Adam Priest, and they tore the house down.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see these two youngsters. Here's what I like. 2 young talents, I don't know, wrestling over that title that they can work and they can have that will help them, climb the ladder to that top title. I'm always impressed, and I think it's 2 good young athletes, KJ Impala and Parker Lee, getting that opportunity.
2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls, exactly. Jacob Johnson versus Bobby Moore, the number 1 contendership for that Liberty title. So whoever escapes the Impala, the KJ Impala Parker Lee match, will go on to face the winner of this match, essentially at the next show, I'm assuming. Dame versus Mike Payne in a chain match. But everybody's talking about, look, wreckage at the rec center. Here's the thing. Basically, it's just a 4-man chaos, total chaos, whatever. But It's no rules, no anything. The only thing that matters, the pinfall or submission's got to happen in the ring. I've been in that gym, and I've seen guys brawl around that gym up close and personal. 4 guys on each team, so 8 men just brawling all over this thing. It's going to be chaos, folks. This might be your pick for Saturday. Like, there's a way that, this is your pick.
It's a good chance. I don't know. I'm looking at that OSWA show, man. I've never been to an OSWA show.
That's one definitely on our bingo card, man. We got to get up there to OSWA, Cornelia, Georgia. Their bell time is 7 p.m. The main event, we discussed Nick Halen a little bit earlier. Marcus Adams and Tower are wrestling for that ultimate title there. That's a lot of beef, a lot of height, and a lot of skill. Like 3 different guys in there, and that should be a barn burner. Sweet Daddy and Clint Eller are defending the OSWA tag titles versus the unrated. I know you're big fans of the unrated.
Yeah, big fans of the unrated. Great kids, very talented. They're missing a little bit of size, but that'll come as they get past puberty. So they're very young. Hopefully they will continue to develop skills and continue.
But look, there's a lot of experience over there on Sweet Daddy and Clint Eller's side, so hopefully they can, they're going to do their best to hold on.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, come on, you got to sell it, baby.
My main man, Xander
Seabolt versus Caleb Crocker. They are having a one-on-one for the corporate championship. Look,
put the belts on the man. Easily most improved wrestler in Georgia this year. Went from a manager to holding belts all over the place. He's wrestling on Southern Honor. He's wrestling at SCA. He's wrestling here for another title match. And it's missing him in the world of managers. Who's the best manager in Georgia right now?
It's got to be Jake's, right? I mean,
well, it's Jake's based on exposure. I think Tristan Michael's still the most talented. But I think
where's he working now?
Exactly.
You got to be working. You can't win if you're not working. That's the thing.
I have to put it on Jake's because Jake's is everywhere like a rash.
Now, I will tell you this. There's a guy who wrestles a lot of places. He doesn't get enough credit for wrestling a lot of places. They're going to bring up a Disruptor showcase match from our friends over at Disruptor Wrestling to OSWA. CB Suave is going to get in the ring again with Vari Morales. Look, if you didn't experience this thing, you need to head over to OSW and see it.
Barn burner. There's no way this can be a bad match. These 2 men are incredibly talented. This is something you have to see in person. I can't say enough about this.
So here's my challenge. If you're on the OSWA card, you better kick in the afterburners because Vari Morales kicks it up at a speed. He is so fast. I don't know where you put this match, but if you follow this match, you better have your show. You better have your stuff together because I promise you, Vari Morales is going to absolutely go in there, tear the house down with CB Suave. Yeah. They are going to absolute crush it. If tickets are $10, there's your $10 right there alone. Vari Morales and CB Suave, that's your $10. So that's we jokingly are starting to have segments where we call putting Vari Morales over this week.
Yeah, I'd put him over on whatever show he's on because it's like death and taxes. It's it's going to happen.
You got Chris Del Rey, Tim Miller for the Nerd U title. Lev is on that show as well versus Kyle Phillips. Lev's going to have a pretty booked weekend. Hopefully he's still faithful. I don't think he will be. But
how the hell has he not got a title match on this? Everybody else has got a title match on this card pretty much.
Got to earn your place on the card, man. You got to earn your place on the card. It's that simple. Look, BullPen Pro Wrestling down in Temple, Georgia. Bell time 7:30. It is at the Temple, Georgia Rec Center. Dude, they have been on fire since they've started.
Dude, look at this card. Look at this card. They have got an amazing amount of talent. I think I know who Super Destroyer is. I bet you do too. But I've got a good idea.
We talked about this. Yeah, I told you who I thought it was. Yeah.
And my buddy Pat Roach, the evil Pat Roach, Talk about a tag team match, Nick.
Yeah, look, Judas is your monster and your experience, teaming with the young, super athletic Zach Buchanan to take on the Super Destroyer and Pat Roach. Look, this whole thing has been a thing. Like the Super Destroyer, Pat Roach, and just sticking their nose in Judas has been. It's been a whole thing down there. But I just don't look. I get it. You can love. Look, Pat Roach is a character to say the least. He has a style on his own. He really is. But I would not put any money if you gave me Judas and that the only way things slip through, and this is not a knock on the kid. He's young. He's inexperienced. Is if somewhere that experience gets exposed in this match. Otherwise, yeah. Zach Buchanan, we say it over and over and over. Buy your ticket to go see him because he's not going to be here long. He's one of those guys
like
like
his brother.
He's going.
I mean, his brother has been tearing NXT up, and the storylines have been brilliant with him. The man that's killing Georgia this year, just absolutely getting everywhere, is Jacob Ashworth. That he has been all over the place. So surprised the fact he's all over the place. He used to only wrestle not very many promotions, and now he's all over Georgia. Super popular wherever he goes. The working man's champion. He has a TV title there. Got a match with Shawn Nelson.
Yeah, I mean, how about him? He defeated Shawn. His first match at the last show, he walks in, defeats Shawn Nelson, takes the title from him. Shawn Nelson getting his rematch back there. I'm eager to see how that plays out. Should be, cool. Like I like Jacob as a champion.
Yeah.
But Shawn Nelson's always he's a little sneaky, so obviously something's probably up his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
But the big, Kyle Matthews, Frankie Valentine, it's their second match of that best of three series that they're doing. This is your old wrestling match. Like, this is the wrestling match on the show. Like
Kyle will tie you in knots, man. It's always interesting to watch him.
Oh, yeah. Tag belts are on the line as well. David Young, Adam Jacobs, Bad Company as they're called, versus Jaden Vane, AJ Black, the Standard. It's actually not it's a non-title match. I'm sure if they pick up a win, they'll earn the opportunity to become the champions. But look, that's very much a old school versus new school, clash down there at BullPen. So absolutely, remember Temple Georgia Rec Center, Temple Georgia, BullPen Pro Wrestling. They've been on fire and every reason in the sun. You go check them out. Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling is at Slow Pour Brewing in Lawrenceville. That is on the Saturday. This is their show. This is their third show, like, consecutive days. And so you're going to see look, it sounds like, it's just their roster, man. QT, Parker Lee, Drago, Vari, of course. Look, here's the thing. You got an opportunity to see Vari 3 days in a row. Yeah.
I've been to a show at this venue. It's a cool venue. So that's definitely a cool venue.
Brady Booker, Trevor Blackwell, on and on and on. That's why we always tell you, Turnbuckle is a blast. If you were a Turnbuckle fan, literally 3 consecutive days you could go to a show.
And not even have to pay for the one on Saturday. How do you argue with that?
Let's move it on to Sunday. Look, AWE, Meta Multimedia down in Atlanta. Bell time's at 6. Loaded card, by the way.
Oh,
absolutely loaded card. The Georgia Wrestling Crown singles title will be on the line twice. Kenway is defending against Owen Knight, and then of course the winner's going to turn around and face Trevor Aon. This pins out from the last show that we went to down there in Atlanta. The match just kind of had had that wacky ending, and then Owen Knight got a opportunity to go on and wrestle, and he challenged him back for this particular show down at Meta Multimedia. It's easy for me to say, in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. The Hierarchy versus the Jake's Ministry, which is Lev and Austin Thorne for the Georgia Wrestling Crown tag titles. Donald Jakes better throw up some prayers. That's all I'm going to say. Because that is Joe Black and Murder One. Look, they've had a firm clutch grip on those tag titles. So absolutely, without a doubt, they're the ones ruling the roost. Big news there is Ben Bishop. Big Ben Bishop's going to make his debut.
That's going to be
at AW.
That's going to be interesting.
He's got the size and he's got it all. He could be a cool fit for AWE. Look, friend of the show, Dylan Lesson, my other partner from last week. He's down there as well, working that show. Lots of talent at AWE. Give him a follow on social media too, by the way. I encourage you, obviously, to go down there. This is the show, I believe, it's kind of a makeup show where it's you set the price for your ticket. So, yeah. Check them out on Facebook. Get the details on their Facebook page.
They're always doing something interesting.
And absolutely. And they got their Facebook Live there too as well. So look, you can go down to the show, check them out, and then come home and watch it again. You can watch it, on their social media. I highly encourage it. Big fans of AWE and all that they do down there. Look, we actually didn't have it on our notes, but I wanted to make sure we got it in mention. And I'm going to add it to the notes when we put it in our Patreon stuff. Mucha Lucha Atlanta, Norcross, 6 p.m. on Sunday. So it's kind of the same time window. But if you like an event, that's what this is. Mucha Lucha is an event. It's not just a show. It's and it's long. I tell everybody, hey, it's long. Brace yourself. But, dude, it is so much fun. Why don't you try the first name? Because I butchered it every time. Hijo del Vikingo. I'm close.
He's a Viking.
Metalik. Metalik, Commander, Laredo Kid. Why do I know the name Dante Casanova? Because I saw him over at Disruptor, and he's super talented. This guy's got the look.
Here's what you do, folks. You go and you have you some nice cervezas and get some nice Mexican food, and you just enjoy the vibe of the music and the sponsors and the phenomenal lucha wrestling, and it's a whole new experience. It's something you have to, if you're gonna be a wrestling fan anywhere in the Southeast and you've not been to a Mucha Lucha show, you're not really a wrestling fan in the Southeast. I'm sorry. It's something everyone has to see. They draw huge crowds.
Yeah.
Massive crowds. So go and experience it.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Check them out, Mucha Lucha in Atlanta.
Ricardo's cool, too. Really nice guy.
Yeah, we always have a blast when we've checked them out, and I encourage it. It's always on our bingo card, but they're long. Shows are long. But embrace it. That's what I tell people ahead of time. Just
you have to get ready for it. Yeah, if you have to learn when you go to indie shows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know when you go to an AWE show what you expect. The Mucha Lucha. Once you get a pattern, you'll figure out. This show is going to have live music. This show's not going to have live music. This not loud music. Sorry, not live music. Loud music. This show will have something like this, and you plan ahead. There's so much out there to experience, and a lot of it you can take your kids or your family to. You had all your grandkids
at Turnbuckle, yes.
Turnbuckle. The music was loud, so the little one had to go home, but the rest of them enjoyed it. All of your children were there.
Mm-hmm. At one point, yeah. Listen, man. Look, find what you like, man. That's what we always tell you. You go to a couple shows, try them out. You'll find out what fits into your groove. And I tell you what should be in your groove, man. And that is us over at tappedoutpod.com. That is, of course, our YouTube channel. You can sign up and become a member there. Get the early stuff. And that's kind of one of the things we talked about earlier is our patreon.com/tappedoutpod and our YouTube memberships. Our commitment that we're going to kind of come in, make some more content, and I'll get a little bit real quick because we got 2 minutes, that we're going to lean heavily more into the indie going forward. We'll do some national stuff, on our Patreon and YouTube behind the paywall. But we'll talk a little, at the beginning. It's going to be more conversational in the beginning versus like notes and talking about kind of stuff. It'll be more conversational. What we've decided is we kind of want to lean in more to and like help promote, not just promotions, but some of the talents that are out there. And then look, over time, as we get comfortable in that, we may expand out and start covering promotions in other states and things like that as well.
In other states. Just, until we can figure out what to do, let's talk about what you're doing in other states. Send me some information. Tell me your shows. Tell me who you're booking. I try to follow. You know what it's like trying to follow every single promotion all around the country?
Yeah,
but it's not easy. but I would
and that's
love.
we kind of had a system. We figured we're probably going to choose between people's YouTube channels and IWTV. Like, there's got to be a measure, like a level of, that
send us recommendations. I just trying to figure all this out, folks.
Yeah, tappedOutPod.com. What's your favorite promotion out there? Like I said, make sure they have an IWTV or a Triller or a YouTube channel of some kind that we can actually watch the content. That's kind of what we're hoping to get to cover a little more. But for now, heavily focusing on, might lean into doing some interviews, not full-length interviews, 15, 20-minute interviews, adding them to shows, so things like that. So it's tappedOutPod@gmail.com. Wrestlers here in Georgia you'd like us to talk to. We want you to give us suggestions who you want to hear from. It kind of makes the choices a little bit easier. Kind of go from there. So hopefully we're going to change it up a little bit here, focus a little more on the Georgia indie scene, and then expand at a later date. But man, look, big weekend ahead, huge weekend last weekend, having a blast, and we're always trying to evolve. I think that's the ultimate thing here. And look, before we get out of here, I am going to put it in the show notes. Opus clips, why are they on the screen? Opus clips is there. It's the easiest way if you're trying to make Instagram, TikTok reels, YouTube shorts, all that stuff with captions, whatever. Absolutely, it's what we use for our account. So I'm not telling you something that we don't use. I use it for our Instagram.
It looks great.
Twitter.
Our reels look terrific.
You could take full-length videos, dump them in there, and the AI just chops it up. And by the way, you can edit it after. You can change it a little bit if you want it shorter, longer, things like that as well. Look, used in our show notes, there will be there's a link in there. Use that. It just kind of helps support the show. You know how these things work, because we'll get a little bit of credit there for you signing up. So look, lots of stuff, man. Constantly moving and evolving. Anything else before we bail out of here today, man?
So excited to get in the car and go to wrestling this weekend. Love y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all. Come by and say hello if you see us.
Yep, and that will, like I said, we know for a fact Southern Honor on Friday. We'll see on Saturday. Maybe we'll put it out there where we're going to be. We'll find out if there's going to be one. We'll see. But absolutely, what's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.